for this to work very well, either the digital screen should be in a place where you have a captive audience, a longish dwell time. This I'm talking about, look at our investment in Ayodhya, for instance. It's at Hanuman Ghari. It's just where you make an entry to the temple, and a person needs to be standing in a queue for anything from 45 minutes to 2.5 hours, right? So now the guy has got nothing to do. So he's certainly going to see my screen. And no campaign or no brand will feel the money is gone waste, right? On the contrary, if it was on the District Highway and you're 10 billboards and then I'm one of them and the client drives past, he doesn't even see his board or his messaging, then the money goes waste. So for us, I think what works in out-of-home primarily and in digital out-of-home is to make sure you have either a network of screens that go one by one after the other. So when someone's driving along, the person sees my content at some point in time, if not because he's crosses it, or if he's in a place where there's captive audience time.
Share of voice is the biggest challenge, because what happens is the clients are so used to 100% share of voice, and in the kind of clutter that we have in terms of the outdoor media options, that itself is kind of getting the attention itself is becoming very difficult. And again, in a digital LED, what happens is again you have a share of voice there. So generally, right now, most of the clients generally they sell 1/5 or 1/6. So your share of voice from 100% goes to 20% or less than 20% in some cases. So what are we paying for? So we're only paying for 20%. Right? So that's the challenge. So that's where the client is stuck.
How do we declutter? So if we can work with the governments to ensure that there's less clutter in the out-of-home space, and if you look at some of the other countries, it's very neat, and therefore that your inventory is going to be visible. So for instance, like I was saying, there are 6 screens, 1 out of them a digital screen. You're already at 1/6 share of voice. You're already fighting with them. Now in that 1/6, you also have a shared, share of voice. It becomes difficult. So unless it's clean, clutter-free, in captive audience environments, we think it's going to be a little challenge.
The advantage of network is that you build a lot of frequency. So the OTS is more. So in a network, the OTS is more. So, the clients are willing to do it. Your typical example would be Ahmedabad, where, there's a set of 120 LEDs and this is huge network. So, you build frequency, and it's easier to build frequency when you have a network. So the OTS actually increases. So in that way, it is much better for a client in terms of ROI.
DKC screens, for instance, right? Because when you've missed one, you've seen it later, you've seen a little later, etc. along the driveway. So it kind of works. The positioning is most important, because if no one's going to see, no one's going to buy, then it's about whether they could see and how was it delivered. Yeah. So the location.